Hello there, thanks so much for tuning in. So I'm Tim, this is Digital Armour, channel about all things geeky, from Warhammer to Magic to old card games, and that's exactly what we've got here today. So I bought a small collection, like a bulk lot really, on eBay, and it just arrived this morning. So what I'm going to do is go through it with you. I've got no idea what was in here. I can't really remember what I sort of paid for, except that it was a lot of cards in one go. So I'm really pleased to see it coming in an eco package as well, cardboard, and it's got paper tape instead of sellotape, and paper as packaging. So yeah, that's a lovely treat. For those of you that aren't aware, I also have sort of an eco channel about allotment life and being environmentally friendly. So this is everything that came in the box. And yeah, we've got a couple of starter decks. They are open. I believe that they're not actual sort of starter decks. And some things in some bags. So I'm tempted to go with opening up the bags first. That's a Targ Seeker on the front. Sorry, this is Star Wars CCG. I don't know if I actually said that or not. I've completely lost track. So Star Wars CCG is the old Star Wars game, card game, made by a company called Decipher, who did this. They also did Star Trek, and they did Lord of the Rings, and then they made their own game called Wars after they lost some of the licensing. But yeah, so this was a job lot of Star Wars cards. So let's pull everything out of this bag. I'm not expecting amazing things, to be honest, from this. I'm well aware that job lots are usually sort of people shifting commons and things like that. So I'm not expecting like grand amounts of rares and things, but yeah, we'll see, and it will certainly be interesting to look through at the very least and see what we get. Whoops, that rec 10 is a bit bent. Okay, so looks like we're all sorted. So I'm not too familiar with the rarities of a lot of these cards. Obviously, I know that the mains are going to be rares, etc. But Star Wars CCG, for those of you that aren't aware, didn't have rarity symbols on them. So by the time they got around to making the Lord of the Rings TCG, they started to put the rarity on. But for this, they didn't, unfortunately. So it's a wild guess, or looking at checklists. So I do have checklists, but I'm not going to refer to it as I go through. So Grimtash. So these interrupt, so you can play these sort of like as a spell almost. However, there is a Hollow Table, Hollow Theatre card where you can use them as playing pieces on that. We've got Sauron, R5D4, Arcona. Hey, we've got another hologram creature. And up here in the corner, that's the set symbol. So this is New Hope at the moment with the sort of crossed lightsabers. That means New Hope. Where there isn't one, that's from the Premier set. So a few Cat Malices, Rebel Commander. So we're on the lookout for main characters. It would be cool, but I very much doubt that there's any of that. And spaceships as well. Star Destroyers, named X-Wings, things like that. So far it looks like quite a lot of this is common. I believe that Grimtash might be a rare, possibly. But what I'm going to do towards the end is I'll actually go away, have a look through this, check it against lists, and then come back at the end of the video and sort of point out what is rare. Hans Dice have so many Hans Dice. It's yeah, one of those cards that you just get a lot of. There were also multiple rarities at each level. So there were common cards, uncommon cards, and rare cards. But then within each of those, there were different levels. So there was a rare 1 and a rare 2. And the rare 2s were printed twice as much as the rare 1s on their rare sheet. And so on for uncommons. And then commons, there was rare 1s, rare 2s, and rare 3s. But rare 3s were only sort of Imperial Stormtroopers and Rebel Troopers. So yeah, it looks like sort of a fairly standard sort of load of Premier commons. Jawas. I really want to build a Jawa deck. I'm really excited to play this game. Part of this why I wanted to buy a bulk lot when I knew it was kind of going to be commons was because I don't have an awful lot of multiples. I've been building up my collection, and it's mostly sort of a one-off in the binder at the moment, so I needed sort of bulk to be able to actually build decks. So I'm pretty cool with this so far. So flicking through, I mean, these cards are just wonderful. It really takes me back to my childhood, and if you haven't seen my previous videos on this game, there's a few sort of unboxings that I've done previously on the channel, and there's going to be a lot more content coming soon as and when I sort of build up enough of a collection. I'm going to walk you through my binders soon. I've nearly finished a few of the sets, so I can talk you through some of those as a sort of full set look through. And then there's going to be some decks and potentially even some playing. I'd like to get to that stage where I can actually put some gameplay on the channel, but we'll have to wait and see. So you can see the difference between the light side and dark side. So dark side had a lot more of a solid feel to the cards, and dark side was a bit more rounded and a bit more sort of wear and tear, I guess they were going for with that. Stormtrooper backpack. So you got devices and weapons that you could attach to your characters as well. Good old Tusken Raider. Tatooine's docking bay, another Takil. We've got Black 3, so that's pretty cool. So you do get some of the squadrons of TIEs and X-Wings, so you get the red squadron, and you also get the gold squadron, the Y-Wings as well. CZ3Z, Talon Roll, we get another named character there. And at the top, there is sort of what Magic players would refer to as the flavour text almost. But this kind of gives you a breakdown of backgrounds. So I learned so much of this as a child. It really filled in the Star Wars universe for me, as well as reading novels. Like I grew up reading the Rogue Squadron novels were absolutely amazing. We've got a first Star Destroyer here. Very happy to see that. I believe that the Star Destroyer and the Corellian Corvette are both uncommons, but yeah, love the ships and the space side of things in this game. So you get ground sort of fighting and you get space fighting in the same game. And there's a Corvette to finish off that stack. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I'll be going through this, like I say, pulling out a lot of the rares and things and cards of note towards the end. So we'll just have a quick flick through. I realise that this is, yeah, just sort of me just looking through cards on camera, but you know, I thought it'd be quite interesting, and if anything catches your eye, you can always sort of pause the video to take a closer look. Little mining droid. They also made the mouse droid, the little boxy toaster looking one that sort of zoomed around the Death Star as well. You can get that. So yeah, it seems to be a mix of New Hope and Premiere so far. Jawa Ion Gun for the Jawa deck. Eject. We've got a Corellian. So the spies as well. This one's a smuggler. You can see it in bold up there. Musician. Museum. Where did that? I've just been playing Animal Crossing. So there were the whole Cantina band. So there was this guy. There was. I keep wanting to say Dice-Ibagon, but he's the big, fangy space slug. I've completely forgotten the other guy's name. Commander Vanden Willard, Astromech Shortage, Black 4, we've got a TIE Vanguard, a Rectenna, that was the one that was slightly bent, wasn't it? Another Corellian, another Saurin, Tentacle. So there is, in one of the sets, I think it was New Hope, the actual creature that lived in the trash compactor, Diagona, something like that. I can't 100% remember. A little bit woolly on these things. Another R2 unit for the dark side. Uta Guta Solo. So Greedo is a character in the game as well. You can get Greedo. Tentacle again. Y-Wing Assault Squadron. X-Wing, couple of X-Wings. Lovely. So a lot of red cards you can see. And it always felt a bit of a letdown when your rare for opening booster packs was one of the red cards. Unfortunately, you sort of wanted characters and rare starships and things like that, or at least I always did. Hydroponic stations, so you can go moisture farming. That is a tactic. I'm not sure how strong it is really, but yeah, there's that. There's a Y-Wing on its own, and another Corellian Corvette. Awesome. Another one of the Holo Theatre play pieces. We're getting quite a few of the Corellians in this pile here. Rebel Squad Leader and Commander. More holodeck bits and pieces, blue milk as well. I'm not 100% sure if this is the same blue milk as Luke squirted out of the teat of that beast on his little hideaway island in the new films. If someone knows that, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Right, so we're going to keep blasting through this. We've got a little sky hopper, which is pretty cool. Some planets, land speeder. Another Y-wing and an X-wing. Get a blaster. A few more weapons in here. So yeah, it looks like this is pretty much sort of the bulk of the bulk buy, and I don't think that there's too many rares hidden in here. There might be reds, either effects or interrupts that are, but it looks like most of it is commons with a few uncommons scattered into it. So lift tubes, more X-wings and Y-wings, more land speeders, a few more locations, another Jawa camp, and that will come in handy. Another Star Destroyer as well, sweet. So we've got 2 Star Destroyers and 2 Corvettes in here. Anything else of note that I want to waffle on about? And yeah, Bith Shuffle. Okay, cool. So that was those piles. And what we'll do is we'll just quickly go through this box. This box looks almost as good as new. It is in like pretty much perfect condition. So that's the old rule books. I used to love when CCGs came with the mini rule books in the cardboard boxes. It was, yeah, one of those things that you remember from childhood as being so cool. So yeah, got one of those. This is from possibly Jabba's Palace, I think. Not 100% familiar with all of the symbols, but that looks like a Jabba's Palace, and that looks like a Jabba's Palace scene. So this looks like it might be a bit more mixed up. That is Cloud City expansion. I do know that set symbol. So it looks like we're getting some things from later on. Yeah, cool. So this is sort of from later sets, which is exciting because I haven't quite got that far. I only played up until sort of the end of Dagobah set before we just switched fully from Star Wars onto playing Magic at sort of teenage age. So I'm not too familiar with the later sets, and going through now, recollecting, I'm starting at the start and working my way through the collection. Hoth set as well. Yeah, I'm working my way through the collection from start to end. I don't know if that's silly or not, but it's kind of the way that I want to do it, and starting with the most nostalgic sets for me and working my way towards the newer ones. So yeah, a lot of these cards I'm very unfamiliar with. There's another one of the Bith musicians. Figrin D'an, that's the name of the main guy from the band, of course. And this is from Cloud City, obviously, it's some clouds, but they started experimenting with some sort of full art ones, cards almost, that always look fantastic. So this looks like it's probably not going to have much in it as well. And then we're back to Premier. Premier doesn't have any set symbol in the corner there. Ponda Baba. Awesome. We get the McDonald's trash bin droid. Wooher. So we've got a few more characters coming on in here. Jawas, Tusken Raiders, another one of the mining droids. Cool. So that was an interesting box, starting off with some stuff that I've never seen before. Going into this box here, again, really pristine condition, and that's got a bit of a tail on it, but other than that, that rulebook looks in good condition as well. So what have we got going on in here? And is it focusing or not? I can't tell. So this is all looking like it's, yeah, devices and equipment from Premier set. And yeah, lots and lots of sort of low denominator stuff from the Premier set is the word that I'm looking for. That's it. Okay, we've got some stuff going the wrong way around. Another little R2 unit. Cool. Yeah, so there's not a lot really to say in this section. It doesn't look like we're coming across anything too exciting that we haven't seen before. There's the main man. There's Figrin D'an after talking about him. So we've got 3 members of his band. I don't know if anything happens when they're all together. Hammerhead as well. So we got Cantina Band and Mr. Hammerhead himself, Momau Nadon. Beru Stew, Luke's back, Leia's back. I think those might be rares, to be honest. Luke and Leia's back. I don't know though. And then we've got some upside down cards here. Overload, a Kintan Strider, It's Worse, and Dark Maneuvers. So again, nothing is jumping out at me in there except for those two backs, maybe, as rares. This, I believe, might be where the rares are that they've sorted out as best. So, Tag Seeker, there's a few of these printed that sort of seek out and assassinate, almost, the characters. An Assault Rifle, Big Star, yeah, this looks like where the action is. Can't even pronounce that. An RA7, Warrior's Courage, Never Yalnan, Calflan Canandrus, something like that, Lone Pilot, Hypo, so this is from, again, Premiere and from A New Hope set. Magnetic Suction Tube, that'll be good, so you put that onto your Sandcrawler and then stuff happens, you can suck up the characters into the Sandcrawler sites. Han Seeker, Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi, Gold 5, awesome. So we've got Starship, we've got Red 3 as well. So that is Biggs Darklighter Starship. And I believe we did get Biggs earlier in the deck. Demotion, Obi-Wan's Lightsaber. A Sandcrawler, Darkside Sandcrawler. We've got a Luke Seeker, Thank the Maker, creepy looking dude, and the Force is strong with this one. So that was everything that I've opened. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly go through some lists, but I believe that most of the rares are in that pile, and I'll be right back. So I've just been through a couple of the piles, and no, it turns out that it was sort of these cards that were in the separate bag that appear to be all of the rares. There might be one or two that slipped through, but like I thought that Grimtash was, but that turns out to be a common, and there's a few other ones that I sort of wasn't sure of. There are a few of the Hollow Theatre, the Jurek pieces that are rares, but yeah, it just turns out not that one. So yeah, I've got sort of this handful of rares, but managed to bulk out the collection quite a lot with some cards that I needed. More X-Wings, more Corvettes and Imperial Star Destroyers, little things like that. A few more Jawas for the deck. There was another Sandcrawler in here as well, so that's really exciting. So I'm going to have great fun sorting this out and putting it into order in my collection. And yeah, that's part of the fun of buying these bulk sets, I find, is the sort of the card sorting at the end. So hopefully that was relatively interesting. For those of you that hadn't seen Star Wars CCG before, it's definitely well worth looking into. There's a few of us that are making videos about it now. There's myself, there's another channel called Rick Adams, and he does some amazing videos about old CCGs as well. He's a really fantastic guy. Please check him out. There's a few others that I can't remember the names of, but I'll put links to all of these channels down below. The video that started it all off, though, for me, in getting back into it, was Team Covenant, and they're relatively famous sort of in the card game, board game sphere, but they did a video during first lockdown all about the Star Wars CCG, and they've started doing a playthrough of it again. So again, I'll link to that down below as well. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned for either more videos about Games Workshop, old CCGs like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, or new CCGs like Pokemon and Magic. And until then, in the next one, take care of yourselves and catch you very soon. Cheers!